So optical illusion art is where it looks like you have, like this case, we have a heart, but we've done kind of every other space. And it kind of makes the illusion that it's floating above the background, but it also kind of reminds me of checkerboard too. And so I thought this might be fun to try. So I'm going to have you guys, rather than leave this up, I'm going to have you guys follow me because there are quite a few steps to go through the drawing. And I think it's a little easier to watch it being done. Okay. Now I did this in black, but I'm gonna change and do purple. You can do pen, you could do pencil. If you guys have markers, you can do markers. So what we have to do first is we need to draw a big heart. The heart, the bigger it is, the better because you can color. So I'm going to start here in the middle and I'm going to draw my heart. And a heart always reminds me of like a backwards candy cane. And then you've got another forward candy cane. That's what they remind me of. Okay, so this will just be the heart shape. And then what I like to do is we're going to come all the way to the left side. And we're going to put a tiny little dot. So this tiny dot is going to help us decide where the guidelines are going to go. So we are going to be drawing lines that start from here and they go out and touch the edge of the paper. Okay, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines. So I'm going to start here. So what I did is I started here and I'm going to go all the way up to the corner of the paper. So that's just one. Okay, and then I'm going to go up to the other corner. And what this is doing, it's dividing this heart up. So we're going to keep going. So we've got 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to make another one. And it's kind of thin. Like you can see the spaces get bigger and smaller. Okay, so there's just 3. So now we want this one to go all the way to this corner. So we're going to go all the way to the corner. There's 4. And we're going to start here again. And now we're going to go directly across. So let's go that way. And now we're going to make a slender one. So we're going to kind of stay close to that other line. So see how this is narrow and this is wide. So we've got narrow and wide. Okay, so there's that. We're going to go, now we're going to do a wide one. So this one's going to go all the way down to the corner of my paper. So all the way to the bottom corner. Right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're not done. We need 10. So there's 7. So this next one, we're going to go back up. Go back here, and then we're going to come all the way down to the middle. To the middle of my paper, the bottom. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, this one is going to go from here, and now we're going to the other corner. So now we're at the bottom. It looks like a spider web. I just realized that. It looks like we're making a spider web. And then we're going to do 1. We're going to go here and we're going to do 1 right across. So this should be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's see. So once we've got all of our lines, now this is the part that always plays with everybody's mind because I'll show you this, because we're alternating. We're going from a dark color to a white paper, and then a dark color and white paper and a dark color and a white paper. And so you have to remember to skip. So you're going to skip each triangle. And so what I do, this has helped me so much. What I do, I put a dot. First, I put a dot in every one I want to color. So I'll put a dot and then I skip and I'll put another dot. And then I'll skip this one and I'll put a dot. And then I skip the big one and I put a dot. I'm going to skip this big shape and add a dot. And then what that lets me know is wherever there's not a dot in here, I'm not going to color those. I'm going to only color the triangles that have the dots. Okay, so I'll show you again. So what I did is I put a dot in the first one, and then I skipped my triangle, and I put another dot in the second one. And then I skipped this space and I added a dot. And then of course now you know we skip, and we're going to add a dot. And then we're going to skip and add a dot. So now because we know wherever there's a dot, we're going to color those in. So we can go ahead and color, we're going to color the inside of the heart first with our dots before we do the outside. So we don't have to worry about the background. We're just going to worry about the inside of the heart. Now, if you have markers, I learned this really neat technique. You can take a marker and you can color on its side. You can make really even strokes with the side of a marker. And then if you have white, you can always color in those little white spots. And then I'm just gonna, it's also easier to turn my paper. So it's easier to turn paper to color than to try to, you know, get your crayon or pen or pencil in there. Sometimes it's easier just to turn your paper. Then you have to work this hard. So I'm gonna just look at, I can actually, if I keep them right next to each other, it's like I'm mowing the lawn. You guys see that? Like when someone mows the lawn, it leaves long lines in the grass. All right. Okay, so again, what happens here? I skip this, right? Because I have a dot. So I want to color the dot triangles only. I'm going to go all the way, and I can even do back and forth. And if I skip a spot, I can always go back and color that. See, like I skipped a spot, I can just go back over that. It makes your shapes look really nice when the lines are really even, but you know, you can color it however you want. It's just a marker technique when we color. All right, so I've got this little part left. All right, so that is just the inside. Okay, so we haven't even thought about the outside yet. We need to make the optical illusion. So we don't want to color this space because it would just make us have a big triangle, big like purple or colored triangle. What we want to do is we want to color this space. See how it's white? We want to color opposite one. So I put a dot opposite. And then same thing, I'm going to skip this white space and I'm going to add a dot. And that way I know that's where I'm going to color. And then I'm going to skip that. Guess you guys know I'm going to skip this space, right? And add a dot. And see, it's easy if you turn it, right? I'm going to skip this space and I'm going to add a dot. So I'll show that again. So here's our white, our empty white part of our triangle inside the heart. I want to make out here be colored. I'm going to put a dot to remind myself where I'm going to color. So I'm going to color here. I'm going to skip and I'm going to add a dot here. And then after that, we just skip a space and add a dot. And then skip a space and add a dot. And then we skip here and add a dot. And then here's already white. So we put a dot everywhere. Now we're going to color. So we're just going to go back through. We're going to color those sections that we put our dot in. And I'm just going to color mine. I haven't used markers in a long time. I really like them. All right, and then we can just keep coloring, going around. So this project's actually really nice. You can do multiple colors and it looks really neat if you alternate your colors. But I thought, you know what? I love purple so much. I'm going to do purple today. You can even follow the heart shape. And I have another piece of paper underneath because I don't want to get marker on my table. And that way when I go like this, I just have marker on my paper, not on my table, which is nice. Okay, so I put this one last little part here. And go all the way to the end. And then what do I have left? Oh, I have one left, right? Because we skipped these spaces, so I've got one left. This could be a really good way to draw like a checkerboard. You would kind of do the same thing, but you just have squares instead of triangles. Oop. And I'm almost finished with my shape. I got a couple little white spots I can fill in. Now it looks like I've completely colored it. Oopsie, I got white spaces over here. I've got some down here. Where else? Anywhere there's little white spaces, I'll color those in. Sure, I've got more. Oh, I've got some right here too. They're everywhere. Okay, let's see. A little bit more. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so that is, let's see if they look really close. They look pretty close, right? They're a little different. Our measurements aren't exact, but same idea. So see how we have white spaces now? Now you can pick another color and you can actually fill in those white spaces. And sometimes it's easier to start with your first color and then go back after and color in your second color. And then that way you don't get confused. And I get confused all the time when I do these because there's so many little spaces. But this is another way, you can choose, add a little more color into your picture if you want. So you could go through and color all of that in the teal. And you could do the same color on the outside if you want, or you could, of course, pick a new color. So that's just something else. If you've got some free time later, or you're like, oh, I want to add to my picture, this is something else you can do to make your picture stand out a little more, make your heart stand out a little more. But that is pretty much all I had for today, guys.